Hello everybody, today trade cap for March 4th, 2026, and today I took one trade on AMD for around $2,900 win, so a really insane day today, right? Contracts ended up running over 70-80%, so absolutely insane. So today I'm going to be pretty much talking about what I saw today and pretty much what the market did today, right? So as you guys can see, right, AMD is still looking pretty decent, right? Of course, now it's a little bit later in the session, so prices of course slower. So if you're holding a position, right, it should only be trailer position. Actually, I would actually end up cutting this position right now that we're breaking below this 197 area. But yeah, no. So as usual, right? Let me open Discord up and pretty much show you guys what I was expecting for today. So 8:32 today. A small gap up on QQ and SPY. Want to see us hold previous high level for a move to the upside. Names I'll watch are Amazon, Meta, Palantir above pre-market high. Right. Very simple game plan. Simply saw QQ and SPY are above our previous high level. We want to see us now hold and move to the upside. Very simple. Tesla on watch as well after 3 minutes of market opening because we're kind of reclaiming levels aggressively. And so let me talk about my entry. Right. So 8:39 Palantir calls on watch. Kind of showed no reaction on Palantir. So they ended up playing that, but 8:46, right? QQ at high day. Want to see it hold here for longs. SPY more bearish than QQ. Okay, so my bad. AMD calls on watch, and then Amazon calls look good as well. So both names, right? By the way, ripped. Right, both names when I called it out, right, on watch. Both of them had insane. Both of them ripped. And you literally could have bought here at the top and still made money. That's how insane the price moved on these names, right? So one aimed to hold 184 and Amazon have a pullback, right? Those are two criteria I kind of want to have for an entry, right? So in AMD calls, Amazon also looks good as well, but I need a pullback, right? Simply, the reason why I didn't enter Amazon was because I entered AMD first, right? It's literally that simple. Otherwise, Amazon actually kind of looked better. I won't even lie for the day. But in AMD calls, right, entered at that candle, stop loss below 194. Simply want to see a candle closure above 195 for the momentum right up here. So now I'm just gonna kind of just finish rolling, but I'll talk about it pretty much after I'm done. So we end up having that nice move, and so QQ SPY ended up ripping, right? So now I'm gonna pretty much talk about QQ and SPY, what they did, and pretty much how I got the entry, right? So QQ and SPY, right? Like as usual, look what's happening on QQ and SPY, right? A lot of people today on futures or a lot of option shares probably got faked out today. Why? Because SPY looked very bearish, right? We ended up rejecting our previously high level, ended up coming back below our 5-minute range low, ended up showing bearish price action, but we ended up reversing very hard, right? We ended up reversing very hard, ended up showing that nice high, low, very bullish price action, which is good for me, right? But why is that the case, right? Simply because QQ, right, was not as weak as SPY, and we ended up sweeping liquidity / bouncing off this previously high level, right? So we bounced off previously high level all QQ, right? And that's exactly where SPY kind of reversed. So people probably end up getting a fake down SPY, right? Trying to preemptively short this name to the downside while they weren't waiting for extra confirmation on QQ, right? Because QQ still hasn't broken below previous high level, right? So it still was low probability. So that's the kind of the problem a lot of people had today on QQ and SPY trading futures, right? So ended up, right, seeing, now this is what I saw, right? So at this 845, 847 area, right? After we bounced off this area aggressively, right? I kind of saw at this time frame, right? 847, AMD was breaking high of day. AMD is breaking our previously high level with strong price action at 847 right here. So I was like, okay, you know what? I can watch this name, right? We're breaking, we consolidate, we're showing a strong break, right? So now, okay, if QQ and SPY are at low of day and AMD is breaking our key level, right, which is our previous high level, right? This shows me that this name has relative strength, that we're breaking our high of day plus breaking a key level, right? This shows me that this name has relative strength, right? Especially if we can break and hold our level, right? Then we can end up expecting a move to the upside, especially if QQ and SPY can reverse, right? Very simple thesis. And same on Amazon, right? 847, high of day break here, and simply just want to see a pullback, right? So we got a pullback right here, we got a pullback. This is not actually the pullback, right? But the two pullbacks you kind of want to see on Amazon were simply at this 214, right? Plus this fair value gap, literally right here. This would have been a nice area, 214 plus this fair value gap. So you can enter calls on Amazon right here as well. Very nice entry, very nice risk to reward, right? We know this name has relative strength, so this is a very A+ entry as well. Didn't enter this name, right, just because I was managing the AMD trade, but this also worked out very nicely. So Amazon worked very nicely as well. Literally just leaked you guys an entry model right there. But yeah, no, so entered AMD, right, simply after we kind of showed strong price action above this fair value gap plus 194 key level. Right, enter calls right here, stop loss below this 194, right? And so we end up, right, we end up having this nice hive day pop, ended up coming back down here, right? Almost got stopped out on this trade, right? Almost got stopped out, but ended up waiting for this candle to kind of form, and we end up kind of reversing pretty nicely, right? We're still in this fair value gap, right? We're still in this fair value gap. We're still around this 194 level, so a reclaim of this level, the next candle is still likely. So this is a kind of an area where I expect a lot of people to get stopped out here, but we end up reclaiming the next candle anyway, so it still would have been validated the trade, right? So because, right, I was kind of patient. I still stay in the trade, right? The risk was still very minimal, and also AMD could have ended up coming back down deeper into this previously had level, right? AMD could have ended up retesting this previously had level and then end up showing that nice reaction, right? But for the most momentum, you kind of want to see this fair value gap hold, right? For most momentum, I want to see this fair value gap hold, right? It's top half plus 194, but we still technically end up holding this fair value gap, right? But for the most momentum, I want to see this top half plus 214 hold, which we technically did, right? Because the bodies never closed below, right, in the next candle anyways. So this move on AMD end up having a nice move, right? We end up closing above this 215 level, which in the Discord, right, that's the level which I want to kind of see us close above for the momentum to the upside, right? So above, after we close above this 195 level on AMD, right, let me click the right button this time, right, 195, now I just want to see 195 hold and let's push the upside, right? So I mean, how long is trade cap? 6 minutes long. Like, I can pretty much like tell you micromanage how I micromanage this trade exactly, but I'm just gonna give you guys like pretty much like the simple version, right? After we broke above 196, right, saw us consolidate above this area, show strong buyers. Now my new stop loss for my trailers is gonna be this 196 area, right? This area now I want to see us hold, simply hold above for the move to the upside, right? That's how now I kind of troll my trailers. As long as we hold above 196, right, I'm going to hold this position for the upside. Simple as that. And at this point, right, QQ start absolutely ripping to the upside. So I kind of want to see AMD just make higher highs, higher lows. And we ended up doing that, but very slow consolidation. But because we had the weekly contracts, right, the contracts actually held up very nicely, right? At these pops, right, the contracts were actually worth more each time. So very nice move on AMD. And the contracts moved exceptionally well for weeklies. So, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much trade cap. I think I pretty much talked about everything today. Leaked a lot of information, a lot of sauce that people literally pay thousands and thousands of dollars for, right? Meta also ended up having a nice move, ended up holding this order block pretty nicely, right? But yeah, no. So a lot of names, right? A lot of very easy setups. The easy setups I say today were going to be for sure Amazon, right? Simply Amazon had a very easy setup. Also AMD as well. Got the best entry. Okay, the best entry actually been right here, but got a very good entry honestly on AMD, right? Of course, the best entry might have been at this reclaim as 194 level, right? But got a very nice entry, and that's why like these contracts end up going over 8%, right? So over 8% win on a weekly contract, which is pretty insane. So yeah, so risk on this trade was probably like probably around 15%, I would say, and I'm risking 15% to potentially make over 200%. Right? Or not 200%. What am I saying? This is weekly contracts. Over here, probably like 150 to 200%. Yeah. Right? So I'm risking 15% to potentially make, right, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, right, percent more. Right? So the risk rewards always make sense on these names of relative strength. Right? So what else happened in the market today, right? Pretty much trade cap is done, right? If you guys got value, don't forget to like, subscribe, and then join Discord down below if you guys have any questions. But yeah, no. Hood also had a really nice move, right? This name hit my alert, right? We had a really nice break and retest on this 5 range high, plus fair value gap. So this name also had a nice move up to the upside. Name is up 8% for the day, so very insane, right? This name is the Hood is an absolutely insane name for a long-term portfolio, right? It's actually a little bit too good, right? Like this name is looks a little bit too good for the upside, which like when it looks too good, I expected it to actually come down a little bit more, right? Because it looks too good, it looks too obvious for the upside move. But yeah. So that's pretty much trade cap, right? Still in my AMD trailers, I actually still have a contract left, but that's just for like just to say like it hit certain levels. But I'm pretty much out of this trade, 99% out. But yeah, so pretty much trade cap, right? Really nice day. QQ and SPY also had a really nice move. That's why his trade ended up moving very well as well. QQ ended up reclaiming levels, SPY ended up reclaiming levels, so we can now safely say war is bullish. There was some news that like some U.S. people died, and I know Iran's still bombing places. So, and we're having a nice pump. So, hey, war is bullish. It's very harsh, right? Knowing that people are dying and the markets are pumping and we're making money off it. But that's just how it is as a trader, you know. What happened with Netflix? Okay, yeah, that's trade recap, guys. I'm gonna call it a day here. I think I talked about everything, right? Probably actually talked too much and leaked too much sauce, but you know, it is what it is. All right, peace.